Okay, alright. We have started. Hay season has officially begun. We are spar baling today. I plan on doing any round rolling, which is, y'all gonna be seeing a lot of spar baling this year. If everything stays like it is as far as the outlook of things and whatnot. There's gonna be a lot of spar baling videos this year if everything goes alright and all the deals that we've got stay intact. Let's see, where's he going? Right there. That's what it's looking like anyway. I've got a lot of deals on spar bales. I've got to bail several thousand. We'll just put it that way. Rented a 500-foot chicken house, 550-foot, or it's either 550 or 600 feet. Judging by how long the tarps are that we're using to put down for it to sit on, I figured it up. I think it's somewhere between 500 to 600 feet. The houses are, and then I think I want to say they're somewhere around, I don't know, probably 60 foot wide. Or they're big houses. They're as big as they're building them today, and they're pretty new houses. And I'm planning on filling one house flat full of spar bales. That's the plan. And then the storage I have at home too. So we'll see. We still got the chicken houses that we've had for a long time. As well, we're going to put rolls in those. And I don't know, we'll just see where we get with the round rolls. But the plan this year is to do a lot of spar bales. I sold a ton last year. I hate it because the price, I had to go up substantially on the price. We went up quite a bit from what we were last year. I won't say how much, but everything's just went out of sight as far as the cost to do everything. And we try to cut as much as we could to try to keep the price down for customers, but it's still just through the roof. And I can't give it away. That's the bottom line. I have no idea who that is. So we're gonna have to let it ring. I don't want to forward the call, or cancel it completely, because then if it's one of those stupid scam things, it'll pick up my input that I push the button on the phone, and then they'll keep calling. So that's the new thing now, to try to avoid these scam phone calls. But anyway, yeah, we're planning on doing a lot more spar bales than what we've been at. Well, as much as I did last year with the rebaling we had to do, which was quite a bit, and probably some more on top of that, because my buyers are liking my hay. I've got larger deals now with larger buyers, like stores and stuff buying it, on top of our local customer base that we're trying to. What the hell is this? Hello? Hello? Oh, this market right there, your name didn't pop up for some reason when my phone was ringing. So I thought it was a scam. I was like, I ain't gonna answer that one. Dad called me earlier too, and I gotta turn my phone off back on. I don't know, it's just showing the number. Okay. Alright. Nah, not yet. I'll just load that one, and then maybe while you're gone, get done, I'll do it. Because it ain't no work. I mean, until we get a little of this mail, they just ain't no work to put in. I'm gonna set these here. His dad said they would, yeah, he said these was wet. But yeah, just stay where you at for now. I'll take care of it. Alright. putting the names on the phone numbers. Dad called me and it showed his number, and I don't ever see their numbers. They look familiar, but I don't ever see them because their names is always on it because I got it in my phone. And generally when I get an odd phone number calling me, unless it's a number that I kind of recognize, I will not answer. And people have to leave me a voicemail because I get so many of these dang phone calls all the time from these scam companies. If you answer it, it just turns into a constant just flow of them. I got 7 phone calls yesterday from real estate. Some kind of real estate scam going on. The lady kept calling me, telling me she wanted to tell me about some house on a 3-acre lot somewhere and all this crap. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I got text messages from this number, and then I got phone calls from this number, and I got voicemails from this number. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it wasn't like it was if it'd been a real person, I probably would have answered and told them, you got the wrong number. It wasn't. It was one of these computerized things on the voicemail recording, so I didn't call them back. It's amazing all this crap that goes on now, these scams and everything. But the fins, I believe, have fixed a lot of the issues we had going on with the square baler. As far as going over the augers and causing the augers to wrap, that fixed a lot of the problems I was having. And now this thing, I mean, Dad's been motoring pretty good. The tailgate spring on that on the trip lever is wore out, and I've got it ordered, and it's supposed to be coming in. I've not got to replace it yet. His tailgate just didn't dump, so he's had some piling up, so he had to stop and trip it manually and redo it. It's aggravating, but I mean the parts are just the springs. He's telling me not to get those for horse day, so I'll have to leave them. I don't know why they're down there in the bottoms trying to bale right now. They need to wait till later today to do those. But anyway, yeah, they're driving me nuts for that. But we got a lot of hay deals going on this year, and I'm just trying to keep up with everything and do everything. I did not grab all of these, but once I get the modification for the accumulator done and I get that wing guard I want to build for that baler when I have time, I've got to fabricate it and make it all. The problem is it's so hectic right now because we're just getting started. I don't have the time to do it, so I'm just going to have to wait until I have more, wait probably a month or so until I got a little bit extra spare time, maybe when we get caught up on the hay a little bit, and then I can. And this is all my phone does. Literally all my phone does is ring, 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 all the time. I got where I leave it in places and walk away for a while. You got to. It'll drive me just crazy. But I'm bad now. I'll just lay it down in the shop. I'll be working on something, and I'll have to go back out to a machine shed to get something or do something for about 15, 20, 30 minutes out there. I'll just leave the thing. I don't care. Used to, I kept it on me all the time, but it's just anymore. I'm just tired of it. It just drives me crazy. Every now and then when I'm getting irritated, I'll just set it down, and if somebody calls me, I'll call them back. If it's an emergency, I'll look at it, and if it's not, I'll call them back in hours. So, but it's just, you gotta do something, because if you don't, you'll just go crazy with everything. You can't get pulled in 1,000 different directions all the time. And I still have people call me a lot of times, which I don't mind at all. I love to try to help people. I'm not, this doesn't relate to the 1,000 calls or nothing. But it's still crazy. I have people call me all the time about plow stuff on the balers and wanting to know information on them. And it always is the same thing. If I've got any advice for somebody that's thinking about getting one, you need a dealer. You need dealer support, and you need to be able to have a communication with your dealer if you buy one. Because if you're going from a traditional style baler, like a Vermeer, a John Deere, or maybe the 29 or 1700 series Massey baler, stuff like that, or maybe an older baler. I see a lot of people that still have, like we did not long ago, really, was the chamber baler, New Hollands. They still a ton of those things running every day still. And really, it hasn't been but 10 or 12 years since the last one we owned, and that was the last, I guess it's been around that chamber baler that we owned, and I was running it when it left, and maybe been a little longer than that. I don't know, the way time flies, which I love. I still have a special place in my heart for those balers. They were good machines. They were for their time. We'll put it that way. For their time, they were good machines. And I've worked a lot on the 848 over the years, but New Holland, and I had one. Well, we had one for a short period of time with the hand crank. Then we had one with tie on the string, and then we had a hydraulic one that was it was a 5x5 baler, I think is what it was, if I remember correctly. And then we had we had multiple 848s, which one of them was hand crank. I think another one was hydraulic, and then we had another one that was electric. The last one we had was the electric box, but it was still manual tie. It just had a bump switch on it, and you moved the arms across the tie. I could tie the prettiest bale with one of them, and quick too. And still to this day, there is not a twine tie round roller out there that has a better system than New Holland. New Holland has the best twine tying system there is, period, if you want to do twine tying on round bakers. There is none no better. They do the best, and they have a patent on it, and that's nobody can copy it, the way they're designed. And I run one of them for a long, long time. Most bales I ever bailed with one of them was upstate Georgia on some bottles. I bailed 248 rolls in one day with a 4x5 848 Sperry New Holland. It was Johnson grass. It was thick, but boy, we was flying. I was bailing with a 383. I have a picture of that baler. I think I might have showed it before on YouTube, but I don't remember the picture anyway. And I was running that thing, and that was, I cut my teeth on that baler. That was the first baler I ever had of my own to run. It was an 848 Sperry New Holland chamber baler. Since then, I mean, I've ran belt balers after belt balers, multiple brands. We had a chrome chamber baler at one time. That we run for a long time. Several Vermeers, Massey, Klaus. The Vermeer, that's the same as the John Deere, so I basically run John Deere too. I mean, there ain't a whole lot of them I ain't run as far as brand wise. About the only one I think of I haven't ran that's in the United States was Gale. I never ran a Gale, but the Chrome was about the Chrome baler we had and the M&Ws were the same. They were basically the same machine. The Gale, though, I never ran in. They were different. I never ran one of those, but everything else I've run as far as brand goes. Other than, I guess you could say, a McHale. I hadn't run a McHale. I've been all around them, and the baler I currently have, the Massey, the Lily design, Lily Welger design, is nothing. It and McHale are basically the same thing as far as the design. McHale's people split off from Lily when they bought out Welger, I think is what happened, if I recall correctly, and that was when they formed McHale, and they basically just took the design that they had off the Welger and Baler, which is the Lily, which is now the Massey Ferguson. He copied it, made changes around the patents, but they're pretty similar. There's not a lot of difference between the two. Except for in the twine tying system. That was the deal breaker for me. I did not like the trough twine system that they have, or the net system that they have, versus the one I have. Because it was a lot kind of like the Klaus, except it had a hydraulic brake instead of a mechanical brake. And whereas the Klaus was mechanical, so that was the difference. And but they still both set the trough. They still both had a density bar. They still both had a rubber roller that fed them. They were a little bit different as far as the way the design was laid out, but the overall functionality and the way it worked was sort of similar, and I didn't want to go back down that road because it could work, but there's some things that they need to do to the net system to make it work. One thing that they can do is put little rollers and space them out in the bottom so the chaff and stuff will fall out in the bottom of those troughs, and then it'll simply just sit on the rollers, and there's less restriction than the trough has, and it would fix the net systems on them balers as far as the feed, and it wouldn't have any more problems. That would solve everything that's wrong with that. But good luck getting Klaus or any German company for that matter to change one of their designs. That's one thing I like about AGCO is they're always listening to their customer base. They're always looking for improvements, and they're always looking to get feedback to fix issues that their customers have. And I can tell you that firsthand for sure. I know of multiple things that they've done to their equipment, that the stuff I pointed out, and they come up with a fix for it and fixed it and done it. Right now I'm tinkering with these Inline, and kind of mentioned some stuff to them the last time I seen them about some of the things that I was having trouble with, and I thought they should do. I don't know what their R&D's done, or if they're doing anything at all. I don't know. They typically listen to me though. When I've got something going on with something. It's like those flares on that pickup head. Huge difference. I noticed. We did a test patch yesterday, and I went over and watched the pickup head as we rode alongside of this tractor while I was loading, and it was just it was perfect. It would knock it in, it would not allow it to ride over the top. The hay would pull in and it would shoot underneath the throat and heavy windrows, and it fixed 75% of the stuff that we've had going on yesterday. Now, I don't know what, I'm going to have to get some more time in it and really go over and watch it, and we'll have to use it all year before I can really determine if it's a huge difference. But yesterday it seemed to be a huge difference to me. I am going to be, if I have time, I am going to fabricate that wind guard for this thing, and I think that is going to make it even bigger change. I noticed Dad yesterday picked up good gear or more just because of those fins and it not having to deal with that hay rolling over. Because the problem you'd run into, you'd be going out through there and it'd be baling fine, and then you would hit one of those lumps laying over because of the wind or something, and then it would suck it in, and then all of a sudden it would have this huge wad feeding into the baler at one time, and that was where our issues were. Now with that, I don't have to worry about it trying to suck it over the top, creating the wrap on the augers anymore because of those fins I put on the roller wing guard. The reason why I think it needs it is because those balers, I've watched them a lot, from the 37 to this, when they are completely flat hay across the front of the pickup head and it's all even, you can absolutely fly with one of those balers, and it will bale easy, efficient, and fast. So that's why I think it needs the roller wing guard, because a lot of times the hay won't flow over either, no matter what kind of rake you're using, because of wind or whatever. And that makes the baler to where I don't have to worry about the windrows anymore, because we do use a wheel rake. I'm not changing from a wheel rake, especially in today's market. It's expensive as everything's gotten. And it'll make it to where the baler can fix what it needs without having to worry about the raker or the windrow. And everything will work good. So I don't know. I think it will. There's a lot of theory in all this. So we got to test it and figure everything out and determine how things are going to go. I'd say he's running close to 4.5 miles an hour, 5 right now, baling, depending on where he's at in the field. When he turns around, he slows down some. I don't know why he does it, but he does it. And then he'll pick it up again once he gets straight. I have noticed that he's been doing that, but he's running probably 4.5, 5 miles an hour, which is pretty good for a spar baler. And decent hay, which this hay is not super thick either, but I do like what I'm seeing as far as he could actually pick up another gear if he wanted to, but I do like what I'm seeing as far as the flow of how it's flowing now versus the way it was doing without those. It just ride up the side, and that's not what you want at all on the baler. So that one little improvement helped. And I think they may, I don't know, it seems like some point in time I saw that they may have had an accessory kit that had those flares for those balers. They may already have that. I don't know. I'm not going to say that I did or I didn't, but I think I might have back yonder. I know that the 42s, which is the larger frame small spar baler, that's the same frame as the 3-string, has the flares on the pickup. I really like the design on those balers. You just don't ever see them around here. I really wouldn't mind having a 42 instead of the 40, just because of some of the designs it has on it. And there's a huge price increase too from the 40 to 42, which a lot of people around here, especially in the southeast, they don't even know if there is such a thing as an 1842. It is the same frame baler as the 3-string balers, but it's 2-string. Now I think there's an 1844. That's the 3-string baler, and then they have a wire tie 3-string baler too. Besides that one, they used to have them with an engine on them, I think, and everything. But yeah, I've never even seen one of those in person. That's something they do out in the Midwest or in certain parts of the country. Here where I'm at, you just don't ever see that, which I'm sure a lot of people like me, they unless you're in a certain area, there's just not a huge market for them. But I do like the design on those a lot. think a roller wind guard on one of these inlines, because these inlines are a lot different than your average square baler. I mean, they're basically a mini large square baler, and large square balers have roller wind guards, just like the round rollers do. And that, I think, would typically you want it to keep an even amount of hay across the mouth of the baler to bale an even shaped bale. But I don't think you don't need that with the inlines, these smaller inlines. That wouldn't be the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to keep the feed going into the throat even, so that way it doesn't get lumps going into the baler. And because then once you get a lump, your flywheel slows down, and then if you get another lump right after that, that's where you get in trouble. And then you've got to start slowing down. Well, if you have a roller wind guard, it evens that lump out, and then the baler's going to take it a lot better. That's basically the gain I see in it from the small square baler standpoint. It's not as much as trying to fill the chamber evenly as it is just to fill the feed throat evenly to help keep your flywheel speed up, and that way you don't get lumps or bind the baler down because of it. So that's kind of what my thinking is, and why I think it would work. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if it's worth any. So they may have done that. They may have run it through R&D and tried it, didn't like what they saw, and didn't see enough benefit to offer it. So I don't know. But my point is, the inlines are so much different than the other balers that that's why I think you need it. Now, it wouldn't benefit you any really in the side deliveries, because they're raking the hay across anyway. They'll kind of even the hay out on their own anyway, because they're having to pull it over from the side, and it's not going to do you any good on the fill point, because again, they're raking it from the side. And that's why a lot of times you get the banana bales, because you're getting too much hay on one side of the chamber versus the other, and the forks aren't throwing it like they need to across to the other side. So you have to compensate that with the knotters and try to tension one side more than the other on the baler to compensate for that. The inline, you don't have that problem because it's feeding the hay from underneath and it's throwing it up into the chamber that way instead of from the side. So you don't have the banana bale issue with the inlines. And that's the benefit of having an inline baler versus a side delivery baler, and they're faster. And they're faster. There's no way you're going to get me to go back. Anyway, I've talked and talked and talked. Thank y'all for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, share it, do whatever you got to do. It really helps get this thing out there to more people. I want to see, if I want to keep doing this, I want to see the channel keep growing and reaching more people. Just that way. It really doesn't matter to me if anybody else watches, but it makes me feel, I don't know, more, it makes it seem more worth it because there is people wanting to watch it. And unfortunately, my mouth gets me in trouble a lot of times with the platform, and I say things they don't really want me talking about. But this is the United States of America, and we have the First Amendment for a reason, and I really don't care. So that's why I need y'all's help trying to help me get these things out there more. Than the average channel, because I am one of the guys who will speak their mind, we'll put it that way. A lot of guys out there, I'm not picking on the ag community, just in general, people on YouTube, that, we'll put it this way, it's about like watching a NASCAR driver or somebody on a racetrack who's depending on sponsorship dollars, and they're so censored and so manipulated that they want, it's like a cookie cutter person that has no opinions, no thoughts, nothing, and they're 110% politically correct, and who the hell wants to watch that? Every time money gets into something, it ruins it, unfortunately, because there's outside influencers that pressure companies to do, or people to do different things because of the money. I'm not in this for the money. I never have been, never will be. And if I am in it for the money, I'm going to quit, because at that point I have no desire or drive to do this anymore. It's just solely about the dollar, and I can make a lot more money doing something else besides sitting here playing with a camera than I can doing this with the same amount of time. It's a joke what I get paid to do this, and really it literally covers the cost to do it. That's all I care about anyway, is cover the cost of the hobby. That's it. I ain't in for anything else. So thank y'all for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe again, and we'll see you next time.